public live stream, but now it is. So yeah, so we do all these sessions except for the Monday through Friday. Uh, okay, it's running right now. So we do these YouTube live stream videos, and we post them on our NWSOFA.org website. You can go up there at any time. If you have to go to the bathroom, and in this 10 minutes of this, you can go up there and just pick it up uh, in place, or you can share it with friends or whatever later on. So welcome. Today we have a short poll, and you know, when I say we're amateurs. We are folks that are users that present this. I truly mean that. Every time we present something, I learn something more. And one of the things that I have learned is how to do a poll. It's really cool. I've not only learned how to do a poll, but I've learned how to actually make a poll work. So if somebody would let me know that you can see the poll, is it showing up?
Not yet, Bill.
Okay, so I see I have to hit the button called launch.
There you
All
go.
right. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I found another button on here somewhere where I can do these one at a time, although I don't find that button right now.
Yeah, once you've launched the poll, you can't change it. So that's why it's a button right when you start, but that's an advanced users feature for hosts only.
To this poll, there are 32 of us on the call. The four of us who are co-hosts will not be able to take the poll. So we'd like to ask you people to answer the questions. The first one is, what element of today's how-to hands-on session would you like the most time spent on? That'll give us an idea of how to orientate this. And we're getting a lot of people that are uh, filling that out. That's already 10 people. So when you get done with that one, scroll down to the next one. That's item 2, which is a poll about the recent podcast uh, tech session that we had last week on the Hands To session. To kind of get a sense for those of you who were on that poll, how you viewed that. And then we'd like to have you go down to the third question, which if you've attended a recent Substack hands-on session, the same questions. Was it helpful, hard to follow? Are you picking up any ideas from it? And then a new question, a fourth question, which just scroll down to. And particularly if you're using a phone, you have to really make sure you go down to the next ones. Uh, we'd like to know, would you like a portion of this session to be on security for technology? There's a lot of angst and concerns about that. And if so, we can add that to this uh, either as a separate program or as a addendum to what we're doing. So we're going to end this poll in just a few minutes here. I see that question 1, we have 28. Everybody has answered a portion of that. We have 11 that was able to answer the questions on the podcast. We have 12 that answered on Substack and 18 on the security question. So in 10 seconds, we're going to end the quiz and then we'll review what you're all thinking. So we'll start with a normal countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1. And we are ending the quiz, and we are sharing the results. So, pretty cool. Thank you all. We had 31 of the 35 that joined, a couple that weren't even on the screen when we started this, that did the poll, so we appreciate that. And remember, we have four co-hosts that cannot participate, so that's 100%. So 23% said they'd like to spend time on podcast, 10 on Discord, 6 on AI, Chat GBT, Perplexity, 9 on Substack, 4 on Zoom, 1 on open questions on security, 3 let's do equal time, and 6 presenter's choice. All right, so the top ones are Discord and Substack. Okay, so we got Discord, Substack, and podcast. So what we're going to do today, just based on that information, is we're going to start with an update on Discord, and assuming Rebecca has a time slot that she can do that on, because she is our Discord expert. And then we will update ourselves on Substack. Some very interesting things that we've been able to do on Substack here at NWSOFA. And then we'll go to podcast, kind of integrating the podcast and the Substack together. So let's go to the question number 2. If you attended the recent podcast, was it helpful? One person said it was helpful, but that was 10%. 6 said it was hard to follow. Okay, that's on us. 6 said they attended. You're still learning what it is and how we can use it. You're in the same boat as me. And nobody answered the last question that was unintelligible. And then question 3, if you attended a recent Substack session, was it helpful? The good news is 5 out of 12, 42% said yes. 4 said hard to follow. 3 says yes, attended, still learning how to use it. And 1 said attended and now are doing your first Substacks, uh, much like we are doing them at NWSOFA. And then the 4th question is, would you like a portion of the session to be on security? Wow, this is very cool. Thank you very much. 7 said yes. Let's do it at the end of the session, a kind of an open Q&A. And 8 said no, but maybe we should do a separate session on security. And I believe 6 said it's up to the presenters. If you think we need to discuss it, please include it in this session. And Stephanie has been discussing that with our organization. I'm going to stop sharing this now and going to allow Rebecca to get set up to talk about what's new in Discord. But just a huge thank you for doing that. Remember, if you do have a question, this is very informal. There's not many of us on here, I think maybe 40. So if you have a question, use that digital heart-shaped icon at the bottom of your screen, maybe the top of your screen, maybe it's on the right of your screen, and just hit that, and it allows you to raise your hand or to send any icons that show us what your reactions of what we're talking to. And so we can call on you then with your raised hands and hopefully answer your questions. And at the very end, we'll have time for questions. We usually go to about 3:15 to 3:30, somewhere in that area, depending on people who have particular questions. Rebecca, can you take it away and tell us a little bit about the basics of Discord and what updates you have been adding over the last few weeks?
Sure. So I will talk in a moment about the basics of Discord. some folks are asking how to use Discord before I start, giving people instructions for how to sign up and stuff. So I'll just give a little demo. Basically, my spiel on Discord is that the way that I use it is a way to keep connected, keep the conversation going with folks in this NWSOFA group outside of Zoom, which it's hard to believe, but sometimes we do log out of Zoom. It feels like we're always on together, but yeah, sometimes we're offline. And this is a way to have conversations when we're not in Zoom together. And we can have conversations on a variety of topics. So that's the way that I use it when I speak generally. To go a little bit deeper, I me personally, I like to keep abreast of the news and discussion channel, just because I know people like Bruce are posting things in there. Whenever I see a particularly either entertaining or horrifying news headline, I share it or respond to what other folks are saying. So it's kind of like an offline version of coffee and conversation where we're not in Zoom together, but we can still talk about the events of the day. I also am a big one in this calls to action channel. So for example, this morning I was in there and I posted a specific call to action about here in the Chicago suburbs where I live, there's a lot of ICE activity as of late, and that's affecting immigrant communities, and they are afraid to go to the grocery store or the food pantry, the pharmacy, what have you. So, call to action was, you could donate to food pantries. You could volunteer at the food pantry, or you could be like a delivery driver where you're taking food from the food pantry or pharmacy or grocery store to where it needs to go. So just sharing ideas like that and getting ideas from other people about protests that are happening nearby, or the best way to use things like five calls. Like, the possibilities are near endless, of the kinds of conversations you can have. So those are just a couple of examples. That's how I tend to use Discord, is to share information, respond to information. There are also issue teams. So if you're particularly interested in climate change or the gun violence prevention group, I know that they're having a call tomorrow night. If you wanted to kind of continue the conversation on topics that they are raising, those could be good places to do it. So just a couple of ideas for how to use Discord. Let's see. Alfeo asked, oh, I see. Okay. So I shared in the Zoom chat a couple of instructions on how to use Discord, how to get started on it, including the instructions to download it, how to sign up for an account, and the link to our server invite. Our server
Hey, Rebecca,
is, yes, ma'am.
can you talk about somebody who already has a Discord ID and how they add it? And if you're not prepared, that's good, but the question came up. I already have a Discord ID. How do I add this server to my subscription? Thanks.
Yeah, so if does my little chat window show up on the screen? Can you see that, or is it invisible because it's Zoom?
It's invisible.
Okay. So if you have the invite link and you are already on Discord um, for a different server, but you want to add our server, you're going to click this add a server button. It's like this plus button. And then this little menu will pop up. And here at the bottom, it'll say, do you have an invite? And you'll say, yeah, I want to join the server. So you click there. And this is where you copy and paste that link that I put in the chat. You'll paste it in there, and then you'll click join server. So pretty straightforward. Okay, are there other questions? Oh, Altheo's question was, how long is that link good for? I believe the one that I put in there is good for 7 days. So you don't have to respond immediately to sign up, but yeah, that link will expire within 7 days. And if you need a link, you can feel free to share it, or feel free to just let me know in any meeting that you see me at, and I can usually drop one in.
Bruce has his hand up.
Bruce
Rebecca?
does?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He does.
I appreciate your showing me how to use it. And I've been using it, but I don't know I'm using it correctly. So my first question is, because you went first to just what was the first channel you went to? Discussion? New in discussion?
The discussions, yep.
Is that the one most people start with or go to?
It's one that's fairly active. I don't know what everyone else goes to, but it's where I start.
News and discussion. Okay. Because I'm not sure which one I go to, but it pops up. See the Statue of Liberty on the left?
Yep.
I often have numbers there. How do I know, or how do I get to those numbers? Because I assume that means those are people responding to me.
Yeah,
Or
so you
maybe
see, I've
just
got a
Yes? No? What do the numbers mean on the statue?
so the number 1 here that you can see, that means that I have 1 notification. So a
How do you get to
notification,
it?
yeah, I'm going to explain. I just wanted for folks who are um, learning, I want to explain it from beginning to end rather than skipping steps. So a notification can mean that
Then
you
why don't we
have,
hold off on my questions till hold off on my questions until you finish what you want to present. How's that?
well, I'll just answer it, and it'll be a good way to structure the discussion. Notifications can happen if somebody replies to something you posted, or if somebody posts something and tags you. Like I could put in a post and tag Bruce. Like I could say at Bruce, what's new today? And Bruce would get a notification. He would get a number show up because I've tagged him specifically. Another situation where you'll get a notification is when everyone is tagged. So every week I come into Discord and I post the NWSOFA Zoom schedule for the week, and I tag everyone. So everyone is going to get at least one notification a week that they've gotten tagged. And so you'll see in the announcements channel, usually at like a 1 that week. So either you've gotten responded to, somebody's tagged you, or everybody has been tagged. So those are kind of the 3 scenarios. So the way you find where this notification is coming from, the easiest way for me is to kind of scroll through my channels, and you can see on the right side here, wherever you've got a number 1 or a number 2, that's, or whatever the number of notifications is, that's where you need to go. So you can see for me here, I've got a 1 notification, and here's where my notification is coming from, this boycotts channel. So I
And
can
then we
click in there,
click there, and
click
we'll
on that
find
channel.
what, and that will take us to where we're going. I mean, as to who clicked us.
Yeah, it'll take you to the channel where the notification is coming from. I think there might be another way using this inbox icon, but I'm not as familiar with that, so I won't
That's fine.
point
I just
you.
needed one way because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, so I think um, that's probably the easiest way to do it, is just scroll through your channels and see if you've got any numbers next to your channels. One thing to note is, as you're scrolling through your channels, anything that's like bolded like this, so the text is bold and black, that means that there's new activity in there since the last time I visited. So there's new posts, but it may not be directed at me specifically. So you can see here, Stephanie and Adrian are having some kind of crazy conversation about technology, and who knows what's up there. It could be anything.
We're keeping you safe and secure in the background so you can Discord with ease and comfort.
Yes. Looks like Jennifer has a question. Where'd she go? Oh, wait, I have to ask you to unmute maybe.
Okay. Sorry about that if that was me. Yeah, so do you have to be invited to a Discord group to be able to access another Discord group, or is this like, how does that work? Are there other groups like you would select to get your news, for example?
So our group is invite only because we're trying to keep out bots and trolls, and like we only want cool people in our club that we trust. So obviously y'all are cool, so you're all invited, and I will repost the invite in the chat. Again, other groups, other Discord servers are, you may have to pay for them to get access. Like this other one that I'm part of, Friends of the Pod, that's Pod Save America, that podcast, and I pay for this. There are other ones that are free and open to everyone, and you can discover them by using this discover button here. And they have a bunch of featured servers that are, some of them are about games, some of them are about anime, whatever, I don't know. So you could just search through there, see if there are things that you're interested, and then you can just click and join. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
lots of
That's awesome.
possibilities.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sure. Constance, do you have a question? Oh, Constance, you're on mute.
All right. How long are the invitations good for? In other words, are they weekly? Can you use the same invitation weekly or even longer? Or how would you characterize that?
Yeah, so the one that I put in the chat, I believe is good for 7 days.
Okay. So, will it say on the invite how long it's good for and the date, or do we just have to remember on our own?
Well, if you ever need a new invite, you can just reach out and ask.
Okay.
There is a way to look at the invites, but I don't know how to do that off the top of my
Okay.
head.
All right. I'll
To
just
see
ask you
how,
every week.
well, you don't need a new invite every week. Once you're
Oh,
signed up, you're in.
oh, okay. But I,
You
Candace,
just,
Constance, are you wanting to share that with someone or use it
no,
yourself?
no, just use it myself. But I have
Oh, yeah.
experienced, using one invite and then going back and trying to use the same invite, maybe, 2 or 3 weeks later and not, being able to get in. So,
Well, that's an important point. If you're using the invite rather than the application, you may be approaching it from the wrong angle.
oh,
And we should be doing it from either substack.com on a PC or on an app on our phones. The
oh,
invite isn't an invite to contribute one time. It licenses you essentially, it authorizes you to the server, and it allows you to be able to post and create content all the time. So let's clear that up because that's a
oh,
huge component that the invite just gets you in at that moment. Once you're
right.
in, you're in. Once
So
we
if I,
trust you, we trust you.
I gotcha. But if I go into NWSOFA SOFA, there's a link there to Discord and I can just use that to get in all the time, correct?
you just go to discord.com and
Yes.
log in and you're good to go.
Yeah, that
You
link
can,
does not fast path you there. Is that what your question is? Can I click there and have myself go straight in
I,
to our Discord server?
right. I was wondering, and I haven't, I'm sorry to say, been to the NWSOFA Substack site. So
you
I'm,
don't have to go to the Substack site. Stephanie
Yeah,
misspoke. It's
no.
the
oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Discord.
I
Thank
gotcha.
you,
Gotcha.
Rebecca.
All right. But wouldn't it be good to have a link to Discord from the Substack site? Is that possible?
We're
We would
talking
have
about it.
to,
There's
mhm.
security stuff. I apologize. I didn't mean to step on you, Rebecca. We're discussing security
Okay.
components that go with that since Substack is more public.
Yeah.
As we, use the word, I'm
Right.
gonna use a technical word, as we harden our server a bit and
Mm-hmm.
create a foyer on Discord, how it is we make it more approachable as an entry point.
Uh-huh.
But we're getting there. But if we started there, nobody would have ever gotten in. So
Gotcha.
you start and you work your way towards progressively more interesting ways of making sure we're secure. And we're
Yeah.
up back behind the scenes working that out for you to make
I
sure that it's a safe place for everybody to be.
well, I'm glad you are, and thank you for that explanation.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Lou, I see Lou. We got to unmute him. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Thank you. So a couple of questions. So I was able to I logged in on one of our previous meetings so that I'm on and whatever we are, Substack, or not Substack, but Discord. And so for me, then I can just log in, which is what I did today. I can just log into Discord and then click into our group. Is that correct? That's
Yes,
seemed to work for me.
essentially.
Okay.
I mean, because I think Rebecca posts the links inside her chat for all of our meetings. So it would give you a foray into the Zoom meetings all in one place, maybe in a more easy
Okay.
to access spot.
The other thing, or another thing, is that, just during the day, I will get occasionally a Discord, thing pop up in my email or message or something. And once or twice I tried clicking on it. I'm just wondering, I have no real Discord friends. I want some Discord friends, and I'll talk about that in a second. But so what should I expect when I see a name Discord pop up with a little whatever
What
it
are
is.
we sending? Yeah, what are we sending notifications on, Rebecca? You went through it, I think, a second ago. So, postings that attach at all, postings that attach an individual, or information that is new in the group that you have been tagged or followed. So those indications are notifications to you that the group has been active in
Uh-huh.
something that you might be interested in.
Okay. Okay. Um, okay, and the final thing is my own interest here, and that is that I've been working for several months down here in Florida to go ahead and create on Facebook an outreach to the worried voters, the worried MAGA or NPA voters. And so we do that a weekly post, and I've included one of the examples of my post, the current post in the chat. I would love to share that weekly chat or weekly post for other people to use. How is the most effective way for me to go ahead and share that resource who others might find useful in their own communities?
I'm going to defer to
So,
Rebecca because she's got the splicing sweetness.
so I haven't seen the post that you talked about. Oh, I saw the link. I wasn't able to open it because I'm afraid my computer will crash if I open too many things. It's been known to do that. Um, could you just describe for me what kind of information is
Sure,
contained?
absolutely. So my whole theory on this is that there is a large number, maybe a majority in America and in Florida here, even in Florida here, um, that are voters that are, some of them were like all for Trump, but a number of them are now, I don't know, they fired my sister there with the Doge thing, and I don't know, or God damn it, I'm scared I'm not going to get my Social Security. And so I see these people as being targets for engagement for the midterm. I mean, the midterm's a year and a half away. Well, you're in fifth away. And so the posts are gentle posts that are, you worried about your Social Security? I am too, with an image, whatever the image is. The one that did the best was when it was the food thing. What is this? Snap. And there I did a picture of, some fictitious congressman saying to, kids with their hands out, we have to control the budget, right? You don't get to eat. And in any case, so then it's like, is this right? Are we doing the right thing by, depriving kids of food? And then here, and there's a, link to two or three different fact, honest statements backed up by articles, right? And then the next one is you can call your congressman about this. And I usually use a 5 calls link. So somebody going on there can, yeah, I don't know about that. Ah, I didn't know that. Shit, maybe I should call my congressman. So that's the format of the post. And, I do it every week. I'd love to share it. I'd love to get it run a million times.
I think I I really like that. And we have a lot of channels. And so so each of these is called a channel, and it's basically like a conversation on one topic. So I'm just trying to think of which is the best place to put it. That's usually the process that I go through when I've got this thing that I want to share. So I just kind of look through the list and
I
figure out
have
where
I
to
have a
share it.
suggestion. I have a suggestion. And that is that
Hmm.
I think doing it on the fly here to find a channel and say, okay, we're done now. I don't think that's the right way to handle the request. I think I should hook up with you or with Stephanie or Bill or somebody, you know, and talk this through a little bit because you guys know a lot about all of this. I know nothing. And I know a lot about what I'm doing. And by having a real conversation, but I think, you know, whether it's, you know, on Zoom or whatever, I think we will come to a better place and a better understanding. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense, but from an educational standpoint, for the benefit of everyone,
Oh, and that's
I would
fine.
love
Go for it.
to model for folks in the case where you have content that you want to share, what is the process that folks want to follow? And
I'm
I think,
100%. Yeah.
yeah, Beth mentioned like usually the process is just go down the list and figure out which one is most I would say think about two things. Which channel appears to be most active and also relevant to what you're trying to share. Some of these are a little quiet, so you may not get a ton of reaction if you're sharing to one of those channels. And someone is saying just maybe we need to ask for a new channel. Well, you can see we've already kind of have a lot of channels, and so I don't know if adding a new channel every time a new topic is introduced is also the right answer, unless a lot of people are thinking about this and there's quite a bit of demand for the same channel.
And
So
just tactically, once again, a couple of people asked, I'd like to see the link. I just put the link in the chat. It's an example link. You know, I've got 30 of them.
yeah.
Okay.
And I thank you.
Let-
So
Thank you,
to
Lou.
respond to your actual question of where something like that could be shared, I would say, you know, for now, calls to action might be a good place to share it. It is a little generic, or cooperate and collaborate. Maybe we just need to have something that's like, maybe that's more sort of messaging related. So that might be more of a get the word out type thing. So it may not have like a perfect spot, but as long as you're getting the information out there, that may be good enough. And especially once you start to add some friends, if you want to tag them on your post and say, hey, this is Constance, or hey, Rebecca, this may be something that interests you, so that they get that notification and they're pulled in to interact with it. Awesome. Thanks for the question. Alfeo, go ahead. Oh, you're on mute. Do I have to ask you? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Um, I have been neglecting to get into this because I have so many other things I keep doing. But my thought was that I hope to start posting is I just plan on adding something at the beginning of all my posts saying, this is how you search for my name to find all my posts. And I was thinking about doing that with every one of my posts, and that was my idea, but I haven't got there yet. Because that way you could find, you know, if you preface whatever you post with that, then somebody could do a search for your name and find everything that you posted, whatever group you were
Yeah.
in, whatever
And
sub-channel you were in.
there is a super easy way to do that. So
Mhm.
up here in your search bar, where you can just say from search for wait from user, and then you just search for Alfeo,
Mhm.
and then it'll come up with any posts that you've done when you got a couple.
Mhm.
So
I got a couple,
yeah.
but
Rebecca, to
I
this
was,
discussion
yeah.
about, I apologize, Alfeo. I go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so I'm going to actually try to put what we just did right there at the top of every one of my posts. We'll see how that works out.
Well, you'll be tagging yourself. This might be, this is where we get into a discussion about threads and channels
Mhm.
and conversations. And we haven't delved into the nuance of that too much at this point, but we are spot on in terms. Bruce wants to see what involves him. This is how you make this personal. We started really general, I think. Like this is how you get
Mhm.
there. Now this is how you start to craft it so it's more useful. So we're right where we're supposed to be in our adoption of this. And I thank everybody for their patience in how we're going about this as we navigate through what the group norms actually apply to both, content, admittance. There's a lot to consider. So thank you very much for your patience with us.
All right, Constance is back up.
And then Rebecca, it is 2:45. We should cap this in about 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll go to
Okay.
Substack. Okay.
Okay. Let's unmute Constance.
Okay, this does involve Substack. I thought we were kind of, slipping over into it a little bit, but I was just reminded as I looked at my own Google Analytics that Google Analytics can provide some ongoing, very interesting information about who is reading, who is accessing our Substack. I just went on and found I had 10 more countries, people in 10 more countries, including China. And that's my second part of the question, who are reading my Substacks, and Albania and Indonesia and Brazil, as well as
It could be use of VPNs, Constance. It could be people who are using a VPN. I look like I am
don't
coming
know.
from a whole different
That's why
place.
that's why I'm asking. I don't know anything about that, but it does give you information about who is reading and where they are located. So I find that and in the times that they're reading it and that sort of thing. So I find that and I don't know if it would be applicable or of interest or, something that you'd think would be helpful to our, the Northwest Suburbs Substack.
Yep. I think we'll probably start with the Substack dashboard and the analytics that it abstracts from the data you're talking about before we
Yeah.
dive into Google Analytics, because it's got some pieces to it that we are mainstream and are not. So we have kind of two tracks. I think we have I'm a reader of Substack, or I want to publish a Substack track. And we're trying to balance both of those. So I agree with you completely. And, I've said before, that's a 201 class. And I think it is if we get outside of Substack for those analytics.
Okay, well, I am not at a 201 level. I'm always at a
I
minus.
hear you, but you are a Substack aficionado. Substack because you publish on it.
Yeah, I do find it, and I could pay for more kinds of analytics than I'm getting at the moment, but it does provide. I think that the towns where people are reading and the countries are interesting, but I can also I didn't access it until well into my Substack involvement.
Yeah.
So, and my second is if I have or if we get readers from China or Albania or any place like that, or Russia, I've even had readers from Russia, do we have to be concerned at all about security?
I think that's why I made my first comment about it being VPNs, because people are presenting from all over the world who may be your next door neighbor. I would be happy to work with you to look at your involvement. I did kind of have some discussion prepared around security for that very reason at the end in a broad discussion, because it's important that we start thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm prepared to discuss it from the perspective of security broadly and then tunneling into specific challenges.
Okay, well, that would be very helpful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Okay. Beth, is your question Discord or Substack?
You mean Connie?
Discord.
No, I'm
Oh,
talking about, yeah.
okay.
It's just a quick statement, basically, for anyone starting out in Discord, because I'm feeling basic today. But So, like Lou, your link, you would right click, copy, and go into that bottom part down there. See at Rebecca's screen where it has the plus, and then you would paste it in that open spot. And then you would hit enter, I believe, and then voila, it's there. But your best bet, like I said in the chat, was to just go through, get familiar. I call them topics, and Rebecca calls them channels, but see which topic best fits your article or whatever you want to post, and then put it under that topic. So you would just do the copy and paste. That's the easiest way to get started. That's
Thank
just
you,
the
but I'm
basics
not
for now.
seeing her, I'm seeing all the people. I'm not seeing her channels or things.
Down at the very, very bottom, there's a plus sign in the middle. And then it's like a blank line.
This is where it would make sense. Stephanie, can we get offline sometime?
I hit you up on Zoom, Lou.
That would be wonderful. You have my
So I sent
information
you,
so you can do
I
it?
sent you, I sent you a message on LinkedIn. So you can
Okay.
contact me that way and we can sort out. We're good.
Okay. Okay, I'll try. I don't use LinkedIn. I can try that.
What's okay. All you need to do is open it up. You're going to see a message, respond to me with contact details,
Perfect.
and we're
Okay.
good. That's all I'm
Good.
asking you for. I'm not trying to go through. It was a
Okay.
way to contact you.
Excellent. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
got you covered.
All
Pleasure.
right.
Beth, I'm sorry please keep going if you're not finished.
Okay, Pat, is your question Discord or something else?
It's about Substack. Should I wait?
Yeah, we're
Okay,
almost
I
there.
think
Honest, we're
Okay, I'll wait.
I think the questions are starting to bubble up about Substack, so this is a good time for us to transition to that topic. So I'll just do a quick little wrap up here. As I mentioned, Discord is just a way to keep the conversation going. You're not going to get in trouble if you post something in the wrong place. I will, you know, I or one of the other moderators will give you some feedback about where something should go if we feel like it goes in another place. You can't break it. If you break the rules that are outlined in this welcome and rules channel, you'll get some feedback. So just play around a little bit, just try things out. This sandbox channel is a good place for experimenting. So just try things and see how it works. And if you have specific questions, come on back to this session next week and we can take those questions. So yeah, that's Discord. So thanks for all the questions and good luck, folks.
Okay. I want to put things in perspective. We are NWSOFA, an indivisible chapter, and that stands for Northwest Suburbs of Chicago, friends, Organizing for Action. We're a local indivisible chapter. Started around 10 years ago as an OFA chapter with 17 folks. We just hit 9,700 members locally. And with our Zoom spread, we now have 23,000 Zoom members that dial in from all across the country and a few places across the world. And so we present these programs based on our need, things that have worked for us that we hope you can pull some stuff away for. So when we talk about Discord, interesting enough, 4 months ago, I had never heard the word Discord before. Uh, and every morning we were having the coffee and conversation, and we were having people put in all kinds of comments, very meaningful discussions, etc. And we're putting links to articles that we thought were really great. Somebody made the comment one morning, why can't we find one place to put all of these things in that doesn't appear when we turn off of Zoom. And then shortly after that, Adrian and Rebecca kind of picked up the mantle and started working on creating a place, a safe place for us to put our information. I like to call it a 24/7 chat box. It's certainly a hell of a lot more than that, but that's what I use it for. And I just was up a little while ago. We have 217 people that are our users and 20 online. At any one time, there'll be about 20 online. And it has become a great place for us to put information and to find it when we need it. So that's why we brought it to you uh, as part of NWSOFA. If you join us, you're part of us. If you can take something away from this, or if you can use it, that's good for you or for your chapters, etc., then we have achieved our goal. That is really great. So now for that, now that I've said that, I'm going to go on to uh, Substack. 3 months ago, I'd never heard the word Substack before. A friend of ours, Rick, from North Carolina, started talking about his Substack experiences, and we started to hear about what a Substack was. We still didn't know. But as we were going through these technology uh, sessions, we decided that we would see if we could teach ourselves what Substack was, and if in fact, with some patience and errors, we could get NWSOFA with a Substack channel. Uh, and lo and behold, about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe, 3 weeks ago, we posted our first Substack article. It was a sentence long. I think it was now is the time for all good men or something like that.
People,
But
Bill, people.
yeah, and then we did a session of of what Substack is and how we should view Substack. And again, Stephanie put up some goals that we should aspire to. And one of those goals was within a year, we should have 1,000 subscribers. Well, I'm here today to let you know that 3 weeks after that goal was set, we have 58. We just added the 58th about an hour ago. Now, what's important about that is we're on track over 52 weeks to get close to that 1,000. So that's cool. What we're using Substack for right now, it's probably not the right thing to use it for, but every day we do a recap of our coffee and conversation. Coffee and conversation is every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And so we've been sending those out to people, but we've got a lot of people who say, I don't get your recaps. I'm not sure if it goes to a different place in their emails or whether they unsubscribed. We don't know. But now what we do is every night, once we publish our NWFOFA Coffee and Conversation update, we take that and we put it on Substack. So people can now join us on Substack and they can see every day what we talked about, the key takeaways, and then all of the articles that were posted during that. As a matter of fact, the other day we had 78 articles, and we break them down into categories so people can follow. Bruce Harris, who is on, is one of the key contributors, and we really appreciate that. So we thought that was pretty cool that we were doing that, and then we said, well, geez, we do all these other things. We have a like this hands-on technology session, uh, and we have a bunch of other sessions that we do. Tonight we'll do Vision Forward. Last night we did civics. Um, on Thursday we'll do our gun violence prevention, and we will also at 5 o'clock do our sorting soup session. And so what we do is we do an AI summary on Zoom, and we post those so that people can go up and they can see those. So all of this is coming around beautifully, and it only takes minutes to do that final Substack update, and it benefits literally 58 people now, but it will benefit 1,000 people at some point. So that's what our goal is. It's adding these different things. Is how can we be a better leader? How can we be more efficient with our time? And how can we do a 360 approach, holding meetings and then um, giving feedback to our attendees or those that wanted to attend and couldn't attend to see that information. So that's how this all has evolved within NWSOFA. Stephanie, I'm going to put you on spot because you're kind of a pro on this. Are we doing the right thing, or have we just taken this off on our own little direction?
I would tell you at some level, we have both unleashed the Krakens and created an opportunity for ourselves to be a little more known. And we just need to have good locks to make sure that we're safe, which is why we're talking about some security. But we can't be so hesitant about revealing ourselves that folks can't find us. It is a balance between security and visibility. So our 50 a week, it's nice. We don't need to come on the scene like Beyonce. We are NWSOFA, long time chapter, long time folks, thoughtful in what they do. And there's a lot of ways to get there from here. I mean, I think our conversation yesterday on the Constitution spoke to the ways that we need to engage folks civically, because civics are people, and that's what we're here to do. The technology is the enabler for us. I hope my on the spot response worked, Bill.
Yeah. So I take it that we're not doing as well as Beyonce.
Not yet, but after the
Okay.
1,000, after the
I
1,000, I
think
have
we're
hope.
I think we're the political equivalent of Beyonce. Like,
Well, that would be 100, which I think is why I think, okay, so we need to introduce ourselves and we need to correct ourselves in terms of making sure that Beyonce level security guards are with us when we walk. Fair enough.
All right.
All
So
righty.
I see that we have Constance and Pat with their hands up. I have no idea whether you're going to be asking questions about Discord, Substack, or what we were doing in podcast. But Constance, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
I have no other question. I think that's hand raised from the previous time, so I
Woohoo!
apologize for not lowering it.
No
No,
problem. On to Pat.
yeah.
Hi. I had a strange experience last week. A couple weeks ago, I signed up for a subscription on Substack for Heather Cox Richardson's podcasts. And the other day, I was trying to download the app onto my Apple laptop, and it wasn't available, only for iPhones and iPads. So I had to go to my iPhone. So I clicked on sign up, and then I got this page that said allow Substack to access your contacts to see who else is on Substack. And it had allow encircled, and there was no other option. So I clicked on next, thinking I'll get an option, and there were no options. And then a bunch of my contacts, a list in my contacts showed up quickly. And I don't know if I clicked on something or it just flashed by and it went on to the next thing. But I think, I was very upset because I think that's a security breach. I didn't have an option. And they had circled already, allow. What is that all about? It really was upsetting to me.
I
That,
absolutely can understand why that would be true. Are you using an Android or an iPhone?
No,
It sounds like you were all iPhone.
I have all Apple laptop and Apple iPhone. And
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, I just explained everything that I tried to get the app for my laptop and it wasn't available, so I went to the iPhone, and that's when all of this happened.
yeah.
Okay.
Stephanie, when when we had about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when we were trying to get set up at NWSOFA, the exact thing happened to me. All of a sudden, there was this thing that said, and it was already filled in. We're going to take all of your contacts, and I don't remember. I do remember you saying, "Don't click that because it's going to invite all your contacts, etc." I don't remember how we backed out on it, but I was left with the same feeling as you have when we got done. Did I actually invite everybody, or did I get the heck out of it? But the next day, interesting enough, I found out I had signed up for Substack, and I was able to move forward because I ran from it then, and I was able to move forward. And I haven't heard that there are thousands of people or hundreds of people that got something from me on Substack. Obviously, with only 57, we didn't invite everyone. Um, Stephanie, does that sound familiar to you?
Oh, absolutely, Bill. I completely remember when that happened. And generally, what happens is the allow screen is prominent, and in the top right-hand corner, there is a grayed out X of sorts to get that screen out of your way. And
I
what I
didn't
was going to
see
say is,
that.
I understand. I mean, it can be tricky because part of what we're talking about digital personalities and online security has to do with the accessing of contacts and the sharing of contacts, because that's what you go hunt for if you are in a security. So we are all trained to not do that. So that is very alarming, very concerning. I will, if it's okay with you, take a look at how to disconnect them, because I think that that would probably be prudent for you. And if you'll let me know in the chat how to get back and forth, I will send the information to you on how to remove your contacts from Substack, if that would be helpful.
You want me to put my email on the chat for everybody to see?
No, you can DM me privately in a new chat at Stephanie Jones, and I'll be the only one who will see it. That's a private chat.
I'll try that. Okay.
Okay. If it
Thank
doesn't
you.
work, raise your hand.
I don't know where I'm at with them right now. I just did a search for Substack with Heather, and nothing shows up. So maybe I just stopped it. But I think they got into my contacts because I saw a list of people, and some of them were familiar. So I think they
Sure.
actually got into my contacts.
What for? Hopefully, we'll go with hopefully, and then we'll deal with worst case. Hopefully, you backed out by eliminating the app, by closing it down before it consumed it, and it was only giving you a preview of what would be imported. But it's
Okay.
difficult to know, which is why I want to work with you directly and help you
Okay.
on your security concern.
I don't know how to do that. I go to the chat and it says message everyone. There's no place
Right.
to message just you.
Oh, okay, so I'm not sure what device you're on, but up at the top, is there a button for new chat? Where you see everyone, NWSOFA chat, so the chat's kind of separate from everything else?
There's
If you,
one that says save chat, and then there's one that says, oh yeah, new
see a big
sofa,
plus sign?
new sofa, exclusive Zoom link for all meetings, and then there's a list of names.
I'm gonna message you because that's gonna make it easier maybe for you to see it and respond.
Okay, that will work.
Yeah,
How's
I
that?
believe that.
Okay,
I believe
I
that.
would appreciate your help with this because I was very upset about
sure.
this. I mean, I don't want to give it up because I love watching her. And I'm
Absolutely.
not happy that Substack doesn't have an app for Apple operating system, Mac OS.
Well, it doesn't have an app for Windows OS either. It just pretends it does, just so you know.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
nowhere close what you would. The reason it doesn't is because it wouldn't have met Apple's integration, because the integration is very loose and not very helpful to begin with. It is totally a browser app on laptops and
You could
PCs.
you can
Go
just
ahead,
go to
Rebecca.
substack.com, can't you?
Correct. Yes, that was what I was leading
Yes.
to. Is it's a browser app? Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need to
Yeah.
download any software or an app or
Well,
anything.
you
Well,
Windows,
Sorry,
you
I'm
Mac
stealing your
folks
thunder. I'm
you
gonna.
Mac. That's okay. No. You Mac folks with security, think there needs to be an app. So I can appreciate where Pat's coming from in terms of her experience with expecting that something's going to download if you join something. But that's not always true in Mac. And that has to do with their conditions for allowing things to integrate with their operating system, which is why it's a Mac.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay.
And just as a note, Stephanie joins us from Oklahoma, which is very cool. And she's done this for the last 5 months that we've been doing this. Thank you, Stephanie. Joe Dacone, I see that you have joined us. You're usually up on top of these things. Do you have any comments about Substack and the questions that we were just asked?
The only comment I have is that Substack is a wonderful way for us to practice our writing skills and get our message out to people. Um, it it allows both email communication with our friends as well as those who find us on Substack just by searching. So I've written like 3 or 4 pieces for Substack, and as a result, 10 or 12 people started following me. God only knows why, but I guess they thought that I wrote something intelligent. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do. It also helps, in my opinion, it helps us to get out some of the energy that gets pent up when we read stories like Jimmy Kimmel has just been kicked off, his show. Write something about free speech and put it up on Substack. What I think, Bill, what you're using it for makes perfect sense because it is a very simple way for people to get caught up on what NWSOFA is doing. So that's good. And who knows, maybe people will be inspired to write some of their own stuff as well.
Great. I didn't expect that Substack would retain everything I've done, but I've noticed that for the last 3 weeks, every one of our posts are still up there. I don't know when it starts dropping it, but that's a marvelous thing. So
The real cool thing is that I think Stephanie said this or Rebecca said this when we first started this. You don't need to pay anything to be on Substack, to subscribe to somebody on Substack. You don't need to pay a penny. If you wanted to, you could make it a commercial enterprise by charging people to read your pieces, but I'm not that smart. I don't think that people are that excited about reading my
Oh,
stuff.
I don't know about that, but your point's really, really well taken, Joe, because we are into this whole discussion, but we didn't really talk about Substack as a platform. I mean, Substack as a publishing platform, the influence grew and the number of contributors grew as mainstream media has been exercised, if you will, from our environment. The folks that we grew accustomed to listening to got removed from their publications, and this publication allows them to write in a free form, uncensored way. So that's really the point. And again, I mean, we have 2 tracks here in our NWSOFA teaching model. One is about how to be a subscriber, and one is about how to be a publisher. And I think we move back and forth with them fairly fluidly. But if you don't plan to publish, maybe 30% of what we talk about isn't relevant, but at least you'll have an understanding of the publishers and what's going on behind the scenes when I click this button, etc. So
excellent. Thank you both. So the next steps that we have on Substack here is how do we actually invite people to, how do we grow our subscribers? A beautiful thing is we don't charge anything for our Substack, but people have contributed, which is amazing to me that they've done that. So we hit a good accord with some folks, and thank you, those of you who have contributed. But how do we grow our list? Is there an easy way, or do we just include it on everything that we've done? invite our current membership to join? Or is there a button somewhere in Substack that we press and it blows it out to the Substack community?
Well, in this case, we are really fortunate because we have a really large user base of emails that we could advise that a Substack exists. We haven't done that because we're still working on our game. Like I said, we're warming
Right.
up our Substack account. I have a tendency from a security perspective to never start something and then blast it out to the universe. You tend to look a little fishy if you do that. So we've been warming up the Substack. We've been doing all the right things to make sure that when we decide that you're going to tell 9,000 folks it exists in a more material way, like a featured post, that we'll be ready with our game. So we're right where we're supposed to be. I love your analytics and pacing on 50. So we're spot on. I got you.
Yeah, the analytics are kind of crazy. I do send out to the team every day the growth, and we typically grow 2 or 3 a day. So we're at 58 or 59 right now. Uh, but what I love to look at is this little countdown that they have of the number of views that we've had in 14 days, and then the number of views that we've had in 30 days. And the number of views that we had in 14 days runs about 680, and in 30 days it's around 900, which I think means that we had 57 people who collectively viewed these articles, these 30 some articles, uh, 800 times. So that is good news. Um, uh, Stephanie, I know that you're showing us something in a second. That would be great. But the next step that where we dipped our toe in the water last week was talking about podcasts. And we had noticed that there was a way to do a podcast within subscriber mail. But what we found out last week is that we can't actually do the podcast within subscriber mail. We have to do that outside, like on our YouTube live, and then take that in and then publish it as a podcast within subscriber mail. Am I anywhere near close? Stephanie, I'm going to turn it over to you for the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, you are so totally right on. What I was doing is I was trying to set up my dashboard because you have a
Uh,
dashboard. I thought perhaps your dashboard's much prettier and has a lot more activity. I have one subscriber and 48 views from somewhere, which I would need to get additional analytics on. So this is sort of I guess I would call it a contained dashboard of metrics that Substack provides to you. So from here, you can look at your posts if you're a writer. So this is all for authorship sort of stuff. So this is, I published something about ice spyware. And I put all this same content on our Discord channel so that we have this in a raw format because it's just information. Um, so, in the land of create new and in the land of podcasts, we're going to tease next week's episode, which will be the creation of a podcast. And what we're going to use as our content is we're going to use the video from this chat and we will consume it and make a podcast for everybody. So, Bill came up with that idea, and I thought it was really clever in terms of what do we have as our content. So, rather than in this case, because it is already a video or audio format, we're going to be able to do that inside of Substack next week. We'll stage some stuff so that we don't have to wait for it to consume and all those different things. So I'll help out with that so that we can get a good demo. But that would be the next stage. And I'm comfortable with doing that because it'll abstract the concepts and the words we used and those sorts of things. So that's going to be our next week teaser, Bill. We are going to create new and we are going to create an audio post. I'm not up for video posts yet. That requires people with actual cameras. Let's not do that. So, what do you think about that?
Well, I love that. I automatically assumed the podcast was video and audio. I didn't realize that we could just do a video, just audio only. So I think that's
Yes.
spot on, because
Good.
we give a month for each one of these 4 segments to kind of get ourselves from discussion concept to reality, and I think that would be the next logical step. And keeping it tied in with Substack keeps that platform on. Um, and and I know you stopped sharing, so I will share my screen for a second. Now, you do it very easily. Um,
Part of that is because I get onto a full-fledged PC computing device, not a handheld computer from my pocket.
oh, well,
iPads are magnificent for certain things. I love you, Bill, but sometimes that makes it a challenge. But we've learned so much from it. That's what's best.
I am doing this thing. Can anybody see my screen yet? I don't think so.
No, not yet.
Okay, so I failed. Let me
Oh, you're doing great. I distracted you.
let me there we go. Record my screen. Oh, I forgot to hit start.
Hey,
Okay.
while Bill's working on that, Stephanie, I'm getting questions from people on about the multi-factor authentication
Mm.
on Discord. That's new for me.
Are
So
we using, I don't know that Adrian implement 2FA for everybody? Because I thought we just implemented it for admins.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll be happy to
But
talk
people,
about it.
Yeah.
okay, it sounds like people are getting
2FA.
yeah.
Okay. So what we did is essentially what's called grandfathered in all of the existing subscribers. And
Okay.
as a result, they don't have to make other changes. New subscribers, in order to secure our server a bit, something called 2FA or two-factor authentication requires you to have a verifiable way to authorize yourself into the server. That is typically your phone. Nothing will be done with the information. However, it is a way to make sure that the folks that we know are folks who are actually entering. So 2FA is a second form factor authentication method that we use to get one step removed from the actual authentication on the Discord server. So if we're starting to see that, we're going to have to hold some introductions on that going forward, Rebecca. And you and I will collaborate on how to make that a positive session for new folks.
Okay. Thanks.
I see Bill's got his screen up. So Bill,
Oh, I do. Great.
you
That,
do.
that,
Well,
that,
you are navigating everywhere and most excellent.
oh, okay. Well, what I wanted to do is get over to our Substack here, and I think I've got there, and show you a couple things, just two things that you know about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But here is our full
It's your analytic
information.
dashboard. Yeah, your
Yes,
analytic dashboard.
and you can see in 14 days we got 640, and 30 days we got 884 views. We now have 59 subscribers, which is great. Two things that I learned: I can do a restack because other groups appear now, and I can, like you do on X or on Blue Sky, I can repost. That's called a restack. So I've been doing some restacks now of other people's stuff, and I notice that they tend to join if we do it a couple times. And then the other thing that I noticed, and I'm gonna hope it's here. I do not see it here at this moment. I'll just hit a recent post to see if I could see that. Okay. Um, so you can see on a recent the post I put up last night about 3 in the morning. We got 10 views uh, and 57 recipients total that it went out to. But when I did it, I got a new pop-up that I had filled out. I had put in my Blue Sky. I put it.
Okay, I think
So
we're
I put
locked
it in
up
my
on it. There
threads
we
and
go.
I put in my, and all of a sudden when I get done with my, when I put my post up there, all of a sudden I could share on Blue Sky, I could share on X, I could share on several other platforms just by punching that button, which I did, which I can hardly wait today to find out what happened. So it's these next steps. And then, when we talk about the podcast, I would love to be able to do the podcast within the subscriber mail, but then I would also like to be able to take it out of subscriber mail and use it however you use a podcast, and invite some of our more uh, involved national members to share their podcasts or become part of those podcasts. So how we do that, I don't know, but it goes along with this 360 approach that we have had, which is getting information out to people, getting fact checked information out there, and presenting it, and then feeding back to those who present that information so that we can grow and continue to grow on a solid basis. Um, but all that said and done, I just wanted to share that with you. I was hoping that I'd see that pop up come.
Um,
Um,
yeah, generally that happens initially when you're crafting something, and after you're done with the post, it asks you if you want to share. And I'm sure
okay,
that there is a place where you can go back and find and reshare, because that's
okay,
essentially what you're doing on a post is you're
okay.
resharing.
And also when I do a new, I'm going to click the button that says create new on the left hand side. It says text post, video post, audio post, um, and I think what I traditionally do a text post, but
Yes.
are those exactly what they say? A video post is me actually doing a podcast?
So a text post is what you are writing from the existing content of NWSOFA and dropping into the chat. A podcast is the creation of audio content only, and a video is the creation of video content, which I am not yet qualified to speak about publicly. I could speak about it privately. So let's stay on podcasts until
Okay.
we get that down, and then we'll move to video, Bill. Because
Okay.
you're funny with this 50 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, but you've got a whole marketing structure in your head. It belies you. I like that.
Okay. Well, we have just about run out of time here. Um, I am going to see if there is a way to stop the share. Oh, there's a button that said stop share. Very cool. You guys can tell that I'm learning with anybody out there, like all of you. So that is very cool. So our goal when we started this was to help out other leaders across the country find ways to use technology to communicate faster, quicker, and more efficiently with their members, to find ways of freeing up people's time by getting things done quicker and faster at night. I am here to report to all of you that this daily update that I do from coffee and conversation every day was taking me 4 hours a day. With the help that I got from all of you and learning all of this, and Stephanie saying, do this, and here's some ideas for you, I can get this done even when I do 3 or 4 swipes, I can get this done under 2 hours. And if it's a reasonably uh, 1 hour program, I can get it done under an hour. And that is now adding titles and things and opening paragraphs for Substack. you know, so it's working for me. I hope that what we're sharing to all of you out there works for you. Uh, and for the 40 some people that were on today, we still have 28 on. If you've picked up one little idea or a thought, something that you can track down that'll make your life a little easier, which will allow you to communicate better with your members or within your organization that you belong to, we have achieved our goal. Thank you all for being on. I don't see any other questions out there. And Stephanie, I know that you invited a couple people to give you their information. Um, have you received that? Is that something you need to grab from the chat?
No, I'm good. I got what I needed from Pat. And
Great.
I apologize. That's the only person I remember asking or telling I would help something with. So if somebody else did, quickly raise your hand or come back next week and we'll get you there from here because Bill has laid out quite some path for me to mow in preparation for next week.
And I'm just a farm boy. We just getting
Yeah,
that
with a plow.
just getting that corn done. That's it. So thank you all for being here. Tonight at 7 p.m., our Vision Forward group has their sixth vision. If you haven't been to it, please do. They've done a very methodical to laying out today's issues. And a vision forward. PDF Central, it's on that you use for this, a Zoom link. And we hope to see you there. Tomorrow, it is fortunately, oh my goodness, where'd my screen go? Tomorrow is Friday. Friday, we'll have a coffee and conversation.
Tomorrow's
And
Thursday, Bill. Tomorrow's Thursday, Bill.
oh, tomorrow's Thursday. Okay, tomorrow
Yeah,
is
it's the big
Thursday.
day.
Tomorrow you've got the gun violence thing with Nabila.
Yes, we got the gun violence with Nabila at 7, but at 5 we have sorting soup with Cecilia. And sorting soup is an outcropping of a coffee and conversation where they take key items that we've mentioned over the week and they create a soup action plans for those key items. It's a lot of conversations, but it gets down to the things that we have to do. So that is great. And thank you. 7 o'clock is our gun violence prevention group focusing on Illinois and nationally. And we have one of our primary Illinois legislators, Nabila Syed, who is moving from the Illinois State House to the Illinois State Senate. She's running for that. And then we got Friday, a coffee and conversation at 9. And we cap that off by the unhappy happy hour at 5. Thank you all for being part of this noble experiment that we have going on here. Stephanie, thank you so much. Rebecca, thank you. You guys have carried the entire program here. And thank you to everybody who was part of this, asking questions, etc., sending little hearts. I appreciate that for all of them. We'll see you next week at Hands On How To.
Bye,
Talk to y'all.
everybody. Thank you for coming.
Bye.